You never quite know when you're going to find yourself in a bad situation out on the water, and one thing's for sure, you always need to be prepared to try and bail yourself out, just like some of the people we'll see in this week's episode of Boating News of the Week. Our first story to make the boating news this week is going to take us over to South Harbor in Helsinki, Finland, where this past week, one of Viking Ferry Line's ships, the Gabriella, wound up losing power and colliding with a dock near the city's square. The passenger vessel was carrying approximately 200 passengers at the time of the accident and was starting off on its regular voyage to Stockholm when all of a sudden the power went out and the vessel appears to grind along the pier. Fortunately, during this incident, there were no injuries reported from any crew members or passengers on board the vessel, nor were there any injuries reported from any pedestrians who may have been along the pier. The vessel didn't fare as well though. Viking Ferry Line released a statement stating that the Gabriella would be down for approximately a month while they tried to assess and repair the damage that occurred during this incident. Our next story to make the boating news this week is going to take us up to British Columbia, Canada, where our good friends over at Coldwater Salvage sent us these images. This is the scene when a vessel coming from Florida was transporting ships up to British Columbia. During their transportation, they had heavy seas, and this sailboat broke free and was slashing about on the deck, causing millions of dollars worth of damage to itself and two other vessels. The damage to this one was so bad they had to lower it onto a barge as it could not be put onto the water.
What do we got? That guy. She's not doing well. She got destroyed. She got knocked off her cradle. Pretty rough seas out here. Not really loading much or unloading today. So, anyways.
The other two vessels that were involved in this incident didn't fare so hot either. One wound up on a jetty and the other one required patches to the hull before it could be lowered from this transportation ship down into the water. Overall, a bad day for this crew. Our next story to make the boating news this week is going to take us up to that winter wonderland of Wisconsin, where this past week nearly 36 people had to be rescued right off the coast of Green Bay when the ice they were fishing on wound up breaking free and floating away from the shore. As soon as the call came in, several authorities including the Coast Guard, local fire, and police all dove into action to try and rescue the people and their equipment from the ice that was drifting away. The Brown County Sheriff's Department released a statement after the rescue, and this is what they had to say.
The ice had drifted out approximately 2,000 feet from where they originally were. Our ice boat operators indicated that the ice had moved farther each trip that they went back for a rescue.
Fortunately, all 34 people who were stuck on the ice drift were able to be rescued successfully without injury. As to what caused this was what the Brown County Sheriff's Department said they believe was the cause of the incident.
A barge may have come through and that may have disrupted the ice. The disruption in the ice, along with the naturally occurring conditions, may have led to that. The current and the winds, things can change fast.
Our next story to make the boating news this week is going to take us back to some warmer weather as we head back down to Martin County, Florida, where just a little over a week ago, this was the scene when the Martin County Sheriff's Office received a report of a vessel that had capsized approximately a half-mile offshore. A family had gone out fishing for the day when all of a sudden they were hit by a rogue wave which capsized their 15-foot vessel. Fortunately, this crew was 100% prepared though. Everybody on board this vessel quickly donned a life jacket, and this crew also had a personal locator beacon on board the vessel, which gave the Martin County Sheriff's Office the immediate exact position of this vessel, which saves a ton of time in a situation like this. Instead of it being a search and rescue mission, it turns more into a rescue mission, as they know exactly where they need to proceed to pull this crew out of the water. As to where in other situations, if they did not have that locator beacon, the Martin County Sheriff's Office could spend hours searching for this incident before they could even begin to rescue this crew out of the water. But here, everybody was rescued and no injuries were reported. Our next story to make the boating news this week is going to take us over to Italy, where this was the scene at Ferry shipyard when one of their mega yachts caught fire this past week. The vessel that can be seen in the images here is reported to be the 30-meter motor yacht Party Line, which was in the final stages of being completed when this incident occurred. Here we can see the damage being caused to the motor yacht, but not just itself, the other yachts that were in the construction shed as well. At this time, it's still undetermined exactly what caused the fire, and it's not quite yet been determined what the total total cost of this blaze will be as well. One thing is known for sure though, the motor yacht party line itself had a price tag of close to 10 million euros. So that's a pretty hefty starting point before we even start to calculate the damage to the other yachts that were in the shed as well. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Boating News of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening out on your waterways, be sure to hit me up on Facebook or Instagram and let me know, and you might see your stories over here. Just like Adam Coolidge, Dan Larson, Romuald Carlson, and Zach Burgess did this week. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on the subscribe button here.